In the essence, Baba says, sweet children, as long as souls are playing their parts, they cannot take 100% rest. They take rest in the land of nirvana, where there is no part to play. Question. What thoughts do the children who become tired of studying have, which then become sinful thoughts? Answer. Verse 4. They have thoughts of leaving the Father, that is, divorcing the Father. Baba says to have this thought is to have a sinful thought. It is a sin to have such a thought. Not to study means to become tired. Such children spoil their income. Second point to the answer. Excuse me. If you sulk with the mother and father due to any situation, you lose the sovereignty of 21 birds. And the song of Baba's Murli. People of today are in darkness.
आज अंधेरे में हैं हम इंसान, ज्ञान का सूरज चमका दे भगवान। आज अंधेरे में हैं हम इंसान, ज्ञान का सूरज चमका दे भगवान।
Om Shanti. This is a song and a prayer of the path of devotion. Whom do they pray to? To God, but because of being in extreme darkness, they don't know God. So, who would listen to them? Only when God hears their call can He come and ignite their lights. However, children don't know God. So how can He hear them? You're now sitting personally in front of Him. God is taking you from extreme darkness to extreme light. It is remembered the night of Brahma and the day of Brahma. They wander around a lot from door to door in the night. They go to the mountains, religious places, temples, and mosques, etc. But where would anyone find God? People celebrate the birth of God in Bharat. They speak of the night of Shiva. There truly are images as memorials of Him in Bharat, but they don't understand when He comes. They are completely in the dark. You are no longer in complete darkness. You are continuing to come into light, number-wise, according to the efforts you make. You children know who creates this whole world and how He creates it. You have come here to this World Spiritual University where God is teaching you and making you into deities from human beings. Amounts you to, you understand this knowledge number-wise. Some understand very well, whereas others don't understand fully. Run away, they sulk with the mother and father. Of such ones, it is remembered, they are the ones who were amazed and who then began to sulk with the mother and father. They like this knowledge. They relate it to others, and then they become those who sulk. You know that you receive the sovereignty of heaven from the mother and father for 21 births, and yet you forget him. Baba has explained that what you call peace can only be received in the land of peace, the land of nirvana. That is called the land of liberation. If some say that they are at 100% rest, there is no such thing. Throughout the day, they definitely perform one type of another, of action or another. Yes, they can call sleep at night temporary rest, because the soul says, having worked through the whole day, I am tired, and so I am now taking a rest. The soul detaches himself. You know that the Father resides in the land of peace, and you understand that the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, stays there at rest. God is at rest when he doesn't have a part to play. No one does any work in the land of liberation. These matters have to be understood. The locks on your intellects are now continuing to open. The Father says, do you know when I am at rest? You, Father says, when you children are in heaven, in happiness, there you have peace and happiness. That is not called rest. You can say that you are at rest when you don't have a part to play. When you are in heaven, I don't have to make any effort. I stay there where he stays, at home in peace. Another name for peace there is rest. You cannot stay at rest here. The soul says, I am at rest when I go to sleep at night. At that time, whether I am at rest or in peace, it is the same thing. You become bodiless at night. You become peaceful. Then, when you wake up, you start to act, and you are then at unrest. So Baba is using the word unrest here in the context of restlessness, as he will explain later. Back to the Murli. When performing any act, you experience unrest, restlessness in brackets. In the Golden Age, there is no question of unrest. It is Maya who makes you restless, unrest in brackets. There, you would not say that you are at rest. Whilst doing all your work, you don't remain peaceless. The word rest doesn't exist there. That is in the Golden Age. For instance, someone might say, I'm going to Simla, a place in India, for a rest. But that is not the meaning of at rest. True rest is when we are in the land of nirvana. There we remain silent. In fact, there is no rest. When someone says that he is at 100% rest, it is wrong. That is called ignorance. Yes, it would definitely be said, if someone doesn't want to study, he takes a rest. Not to study and to take rest means you are tired. When Baba says you then spoil your own income, it is said, O traveler of the night, don't become weary whilst walking on the path to heaven. Don't sulk. The thought of divorcing the mother and father should not even arise. If you have that thought, it is a sinful thought. Why should you have such a thought about the mother and father from whom you receive the kingdom of heaven? Sometimes some write, I sometimes have the thought of leaving this study. I can't understand anything. Oh, but this is the time to understand, is it not? To understand means to study. You know that we are studying. No one knows the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, who is the ocean of knowledge, the highest on high. Although the people of Bharat know Brahma, Vishnu, and Shankar, and Lakshmi and Narayan, they don't know when Lakshmi and Narayan claimed their kingdom, or who gave it to them. Maya has put everyone into extreme darkness. The Father comes and explains how the Creator, Father, creates the human world. No one knows this at all. The Father alone sits here and explains. Prajapita Brahma cannot be called the Creator. Although he is called the Father of the people, he is not the Creator. Some people say that Allah created them. Only the incorporeal Father would be called the Creator. It is only human beings who can know the Father, the Creator. Animals could not know him. Animals couldn't say that the Supreme Soul created them. Human beings would say that God created them. So the Father sits here and explains. And what he explains? Look how this creation is created. First of all, there is a mouth-born creation. Children have to grow up and then become fathers. That unlimited Father says, look how I too create creation. I enter this one and tell him through his mouth, O soul, you belong to me. I am your Father. Then I create you children through him. You are mouth-born creation. On the path of ignorance, it is said, however I am, whatever I am yours, referring to God. Back to the Murli, the Father also says this. You become the children of Brahma. You are now mouth-born creations, and you will then become physical creations. The Father says, you belong to me, and you will then go into the deity clan. No one can understand how the Father creates this godly creation. The Father explains, and this Brahma also says, what he says, I too become a mouth-born creation. Together with the Father, a mother is definitely needed. You say that you are mouth-born creations of Prajapita Brahman, and that Shiv Baba has made you belong to him. He definitely needs a body, does he not? Shiv Baba doesn't have a body of his own. He takes a body on loan. He then says, you belong to me. This is called a mouth-born creation. Shiv Baba says, through this mouth, through his wife, you are my children. He's calling Brahma Baba his wife in this context. Back to the Murli. Only the Father explains these things. These things are not mentioned in the scriptures, etc. You listen to these things now, and they will then disappear. At this time, there is extreme darkness. The Father comes and brings light. And this is why the night of Brahma and the day of Brahma are remembered. At least something exists. It is so. When there is falsehood, there is nothing but falsehood and not a trace of truth. However, the Father says, one thing or another remains. There isn't annihilation, that is total destruction. A few will remain, and the tree will then begin to grow. People have shown a great annihilation, but a great annihilation does not take place. It isn't that a child comes floating in the ocean on a people leaf. All of those things are lies. The Father has explained what he has explained. When you come from the palace of a womb there, you remain in bliss. There is no sorrow or sinful act there. That is a world of charitable souls, whereas this is a world of sinful souls. You renounce everything here and become charitable souls for all time. You perform such charity that for half a cycle, no one would call you a sinful soul. You become imperishable charitable souls. Then, for half a cycle, you're called sinful souls. You repeatedly perform charity and make donations. Bharat is called completely righteous. It is in Bharat that they make donations and perform charity. You know that we are going to leave this world and will not come back here. We are transferring the materials of this world to the new world. People offer everything to God. That is, they transfer it to their next birth. Here, you transfer everything for 21 births. So a lot is needed. He takes all your rubbish from you and he gives you everything new. He takes all your old things from you and gives you golden things. You give to the Father with honesty, and then the Father also gives you everything. Your parts that have continued are fixed in the drama. Everyone renounced their hopes. How else would the cowshed have been created? People don't know how the furnace was created. They show that there are kittens in a furnace. You children have all of this knowledge at this time. This knowledge will not remain there. There, you won't have the knowledge that you will rule a kingdom for 21 birds and then fall. That is in the golden age. You won't have this knowledge. And because if we have the knowledge that we will fall, we will become unhappy. So Baba says, it is now that you have the parts of being Trikadarshi, knowing the three aspects of time. It is only you who have the main parts of heroes and heroines. No one else has these parts. It is only you people of Bharat who change from devils into deities and deities into devils. All the rest are byplots in between. In a play, they have amusing parts in the middle. After half the cycle, the deity religion disappears. This whole cycle continues to turn around in your intellects, and this is why you are able to explain the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul is God, the one who resides in the Supreme Abode. The Father says, I have all of this knowledge in me. I am the living seed of the human world tree. Those are non-living seeds, whereas Shiva is the living seed. His image is worshipped. Nowadays, the government plant trees, tree saplings. This is the living seed. He is called the seed of the tree. When someone says that he is at 100% rest, you should explain that there can never be 100% rest. Yes, it can be said that there is 100% purity, peace. There can be 100% purity, happiness, and peace in heaven. The very name is heaven. The Father is called Sat Shri Akam. He is the one who speaks the truth. Death can never come to him. He is called the death of all deaths. The Father says, this is a dirty world. This Hesa definitely has to be set on fire. You children know that this Mahabharata war is greatly beneficial. People create sacrificial fires for peace. That is, they don't want the gates of heaven to open. You clap your hands for the Hesa to be set on fire so that you can go to the new world of paradise. The flames of destruction emerged from this sacrificial fire of the knowledge of Rudra. Those who belong to the Father will become the masters of heaven. All the rest have to settle their karmic accounts and return home. You know that you now have to return to the land of liberation and that then have to play your parts. Where did all of those deities of the golden age come from? It is said it didn't take God long to change human beings into deities. He changes you from shells into diamonds, from impure to pure. To the extent that someone imbibes knowledge, so he accordingly claims a status. A kingdom is being established. You know that you are establishing heaven for yourselves by following Srimad. If someone sulks with Srimad and follows the dictates of his own mind, those would be the dictates of Ravan. This is why you have to continue to take Srimad at every step. The Father makes you into trustees for as long as you live. Acha, okay. To the sweetest, beloved, long lost and now found, children. Love, remembrance, and good morning from the Mother, the Father, Bab, Dada. The spiritual father says, Namaste to the spiritual children, and the spiritual children say, Namaste to the spiritual father. Essence Vedana, verse 1. Become a complete donor. Surrender everything to the Father with honesty and transfer it to the new world. Second point. Become a trustee for as long as you live. Take Srimad from the Father at every step. Never sulk with Srimad or follow the dictates of your own mind. Never sulk with Srimad or follow the dictates of your own mind. Father's blessing for today. May you be a helper of God and experience God's magic in doing service by being in a combined form. Do not just consider yourself to be a servant, but do service whilst considering yourself to be a godly servant. By your having this awareness, remembrance and service will automatically be combined. When you separate God from His service that you do because you become alone, the destination of success seems far away. Therefore, do not just consider yourself to be a helper, but that you are a godly helper. Always remember your name and service will automatically be filled with God's magic, and anything impossible will become possible. We have a slogan for today. In order to become a karma yogi, be seated on your lotus seat. In order to become a karma yogi, be seated on your lotus seat. In brackets, be detached and loving. Om Shanti. Do have a very powerful day today, and happy Sadguru Day to all of you. Om Shanti.